Now, let's go into the Scripture of Deliverance from Maitreya Buddha. So we are going to talk about these 6 verses. Let's begin. 亲在仁天中华母. Literally, we can say we all want to be loved by Zhong Hua Mu. So who is Zhong Hua Mu? Zhong Hua means China. Yeah, it's this name is important because Tao is spread from China, and it begins from China and then goes to India and come back to China, and from there it expands to all over the world. So that was Buddha's teaching. Started in of course it started in India, but that's the heritage of Tao. It starts from China and go to India and then expand from China again. So Zhong Hua, this word, when you hear about Zhong Hua, it means China. Have you heard of China Airline? Their Chinese name is Zhong Hua Hang Kong. So, but then when you say this airline, China Airline, it's not owned by China, it's owned by Taiwanese. So here, literally, it means China, but when you talk about the China Airline, it's referred to the China Airline of Republic of China, that is Taiwan. Anyway, now let's go to the next one. Mu, it means mother. So Mu is a very significant word. In Tao Te Ching, Lao-Tzu like to talk about this character a lot, Mu, because Mu signify reproduction, signify mercy, guidance, nurture, and compassion, and also expansion too. So as we know, we have 2 mothers, right? We have our biological mother. We all have. And we all have spiritual mother. Because in the temple, we often talk about filial piety. We often talk about we need to respect our parents. Our parents provide us so much. Our parents give us so much when we were young and raised us up. But then I encounter some Westerner, they disagree because they come from an abusive family. They just don't like their parents because maybe their parents are abusive, alcoholic, drug addict. Maybe their parents they are still in jail. So what do you talk to them about their mother? So I would tell them that, okay, so we do have 2 mothers, even though you don't find this affinity with your biological mother or your biological father, you still have your spiritual mother, and that's our heavenly mother. That's our universe. And in the Western term, we call it God. So we have this God, it's merciful, and that's connected to us. So, and then some people, they are being adopted. So what do you say about them? So Mu, it's also important word in this context too. So 11, this verse, 亲在仁天中华母, it specifically refers to Simu. Simu passed away in 1947. And there are total of 64 patriarchs. So which one is more close to us? Of course, it's the last one. And the last one is Simu, right? Simu. So Simu was the incarnation from Bodhisattva Yue Hui. So you say, wow, who is Bodhisattva Yue Hui? Bodhisattva Yue Hui, in Buddhism term, they call it Yue Guang Pusa, who is also called Bodhisattva Yue Guang. Okay, now Yue Guang Pusa, how is that related to the medicine Buddha? Yue Guang Pusa, Bodhisattva Yue Guang is the successor of medicine Buddha. So just like 2,500 years ago, during the Red period was led by Shakyamuni Buddha. So after the Red period, now comes the White period. So White period, the successor is Buddha Maitreya, right? So using that context, you can understand, okay, so this one goes first and that one goes next. Just like US president, previous term, well, now the current term is President Biden, but after January, it's going to be President Trump. So 月惠菩萨 is the successor of Medicine Buddha. So Medicine Buddha is our Medicine Buddha, but after him, it will be Bodhisattva Yueguang Pusa, and who is also Yuehui Pusa, to take his position. Okay, so that's what we know about.
Joanna, what year are we talking about the Medicine Buddha? Is it closer to our time or 1,000 years ago?
It's 1,000 years, and he is still in this position now. I don't know the time. I don't know the time, but
Maitreya Buddha that's way in the past also, correct?
Maitreya Buddha, he will lead us in the white period, but we cannot give a time because there's overlap of time. We don't know how long is the overlap. Could be 100 years, could be 200 years, could be 300 years or 500 years. So for us, when we talk about 500 years or 200 years, seems very long, but the span of universe is millions or billions of years. So just a couple hundred years is really short in terms of the span of the universe. So to answer your question, I don't have an answer for the Medicine Buddha. When did he come, or when is he going to end his term? Okay. Thank you, Robert, for your question. So who is Simu? This is the picture from Tienshin Temple. This is the picture of Simu. And we can also always see Simu on the wall. And because before her is a statue that is Yuehui Bodhisattva. Okay. In the previous slide, I put Bodhisattva Yuehui, and then here is Yuehui Bodhisattva. It really doesn't matter, but yeah, Simu is an incarnation of Yuehui Bodhisattva. And when we talk about Simu, I also want to talk about Sizun too, because when I first received Tao, I say, why we put this two picture behind and why in this order? So now I really understand, because Sizun is always behind Jigong Buddha, because Sizun is incarnation of Jigong Buddha. So you will never see their picture in a different position. You don't see Sizun behind Guanggong, right? You don't see Sizun behind Guangdong or Lü Chunyang Zusi, and you will not see Simu's picture behind Buddha Maitreya. So in other words, Buddha Maitreya's, if we want to put a picture here, who would we put? That will be Lu Zhongyi Zusi, who is our 63 patriarch, the one who has a beard, right? White beard, Lu Zu. I might as well show you the picture here. So if we will put a picture behind Buddha Maitreya, it will be this person here, who is Lu Zhongyi, our 63rd patriarch. Now let's go back. But usually in the Tao temple, we can see this. So usually this is our setup for the Tao temple. We see the mother lamp, the sun lamp, and the moon lamp. This is the most basic one. And then the Bagua burner. This is the most basic setup for the I-Kuan Tao temple. Sometimes the temple is really simple. There's no space for the Lü Chunyang Zu. There's no space for Yuehui Bodhisattva. There's no space for Buddha Maitreya or Jigong Buddha or Guanggong. They just put 3 lamps and then the Bagua burner. Oh, and also this one, this two little container to place the incense. Okay, now we move on. Okay. 亲在仁天中华母. All want to be loved by Zhong Hua Mu. So this character means benevolence. Benevolence. In Confucius' teaching, Confucius liked to use the term benevolence. In Lao-Tzu's teaching, Lao-Tzu used the term Tao. So your question is, well, Tao, is Tao equivalent to benevolence? Yes, it's just two different sage use different term. In Christianity, Jesus used the term love, and that's also equivalent too. So we talk about this fruit here. This is a peach. And in fruit, it's referred to the core. It's the essence. And in human, the essence is it should be our conscience. How do you spell conscience? I think I spell wrong. C-O-N-S-C-I-E-N-C, like this? Okay. Yeah, thank you. In human, the essence is the conscience. So conscience is a synonym of Tao, a synonym of benevolence and love. So in the modern time, what do we need to cultivate on? We need to cultivate more of benevolence, more of love. Nowadays, people are lacking love. People are lacking tolerance. People are lacking benevolence, right? A lot of time in a relationship, we have disharmony. Why? Because people are lacking acceptance. People are lacking embracing. It's the ability of embracing each other. So, so if you say what cultivation, what are we cultivating on? Cultivating on how can we get more love? How can we find our true self? And how can we find a seed inside of ourselves? Imagine we are this peach, we have this peach body, and how can we get to this essence? Next one, 九莲圣教归上乘. Realization of the core of teaching is the highest level of enlightenment. So when we do the sutra, this two is together. 亲在仁天中华母, because this is talking about the core. This one, it's the same thing, talking about the core. So we should read these two together. Realization of the core teaching is the highest level of enlightenment. So with that saying, it really doesn't matter what religion we belong to, because everybody have their affinity to their religion, to their path. So let me ask you, if we want to go to New York, how many ways are there to go to New York? Huh?
By plane.
By plane, by car. But even by plane, there's so many planes, right? You can take a plane with different route. You can take the local route. If you take the local route, there's probably a billion ways, right? I can take the detour way. I can take the shortcut. There's so many ways. So, so it doesn't matter which way you want to go to, but the destination is the core. The destination is New York. Our destination is there. So it doesn't matter how you get there, right? So let's say we are in a lower, so let me talk about this. So 九莲means, let's see. Yeah, okay. 九, for those who know Chinese, 九 means 9. So here is the 9 here. Here is the upper 3. Here is the middle 3. And here is the lower 3. So 3 plus 3 and plus 3 makes up 9. But within each 3, there is the lower, the middle, and the upper. The lower, the middle, and the upper. And the lower and the middle of the upper. So here, imagine we are one of this here. We have this lotus flower. So our ultimate cultivation path is to reach this one. So does it matter which lotus you take? It really doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which religion you take. You can be a Muslim. And if you can understand the core, if you can cultivate the core teaching, you can also reach your destination too. However, sometimes the teaching is not good for everybody. So we need to be selective because the teaching is the religion. So the religion sometimes it's bound by the leader's ideology. So in this aspect, we need to use our sense to determine what is right for us, because religion is made by human. Truth is made from the universe, and it will never be changed. But religion is something that we need to be cautious about. Okay, let's continue. What is the 9-tier lotus platform? So this defines what is 九莲. So 九莲 can be defined as 9-tier lotus platform or 9 level of lotus platform. The lotus platform is a stage of mind cultivation of spiritual practice. Well, in the Tao temple, we give a very good example. The people who receive Tao is like the hair from the cow. But the person who really achieved the ultimate realization is like the horn on the cow. So the horn is represented by the upper lotus. Who really can achieve that destination? Who can achieve that enlightenment? It's very few. Yes. So let me explain to you. So who is in the lower one? That's us. We are considered here. We are in the lower level of the lower 3. So after we receive Tao, but here is a little requirement. After you receive Tao, you took the mouth purification vow, and you are involved in a temple affair. This is in the Tao environment explanation. So you receive Tao, and then you take the mouth purification vow, and then you participate in the Tao affair. So this is the lower part. And the middle part will be, you receive Tao, you took the mouth purification vow, and you participate in a certain degree. So this kind of degree is more than the lower level. So I can give you a certain specification of what the upper is about, but this gives you an idea. So the middle 3, the middle one, this is what I gathered from other Tanzu or master's teaching. So people who are in the middle 3, middle level, they will be 正殿将军. 正殿将军 is whom we do 正殿将军上课 when we do 3 bao in our morning ritual, afternoon ritual, and the evening ritual. And then the upper one will be 正殿元帅. So they are considered in the middle 3, middle level. So who is in the upper level? Upper level will be considered 前人's level. Buddha, Bodhisattva, Jesus, Mother Teresa, Guan Yin. So they will be considered the upper level. Keep in mind, in the Tao environment, we say there's so many people who receive Tao, so many people in the Tao temple, they will be considered the hair in a cow. But who will become the horn? It's very rare. But it's possible, right? We are all future saints and sages. We are all future bodhisattva. We are all future master, right? Right? Future master? Are we all future master here? Future Tanzu? Future speaker here? Future sage? future Buddha, right? I do consider myself as a future sage. So we must have that belief. If we have belief, then we can, it will come true, right? Yeah. That's why we study the Tao Te Ching, right? Tao Te Ching is the teaching from Lao Tzu, teach his disciple. Lao Tzu want all his disciple to become a future sage. I remember Shakyamuni Buddha, how many disciples he has. And the first stage he has, in the later stage, he has 3,000 disciples. All these 3,000 disciples, later, they all become Buddha and Bodhisattva, right? And maybe Adrian is one of them, now reincarnated on earth. And so is Jonathan, so is Buddha. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here, right? Today is Sunday. Why don't we just go out to take a nap? So it takes special affinity to be here, right? So I do want to share with you. Now we move to this slide. So our affinity in Tao, talking about future sage, future saint, future angel, future Buddha. This is our affinity with Tao. So why are we sitting here? Because we have cultivated Tao for 5 lives. 5 lives. Because if you just receive Tao, there are people who just receive Tao, and then they take off. They don't come to the temple. Oh, they come to the temple once a while. Then that means they cultivate Tao for 3 lives. And if you are able to come to the temple consistently, attending the Dharma, attending the Tao session, attending the Tao sermon, that means you have affinity with Tao for 5 lives. And if you can propagate Tao with Master, say you go to Ban Dao, say Master Lee go to Florida to do certain things, to do the Tao blessing, to go out of Tienshin Temple. That will be propagating Tao. If you are involved in temple for certain responsibility or certain mission, that means you have affinity with Tao for 7 lives. Isn't that beautiful? And if you took the mouth purification vow, that is 10 lives. That's me. Have you taken the mouth purification vow? Oh, Ivy took the mouth purification vow. So that's 10 lives. So let me ask you, if we have cultivated for 7 or 10 lives, and let's say we die and we come again, what's the chance for us to have this opportunity to encounter Tao again? The opportunity is very great because you have already cultivated 11 lives. Because Ivy has 10 lives in the past, and this is number 11. Of course, it will just carry on. It will be, if she come again, it will be number 12. It's how much we cultivate. But keep in mind, let me put it in a simple term. We like to come to the temple. Why? Because there's this attraction, there's this magnet. Magnet want you to come. So you say, okay, on Sunday, I have to go to temple. Like me, I have to go to temple. It's voluntary. So it's like a magnet. So the more life you cultivate, the more affinity you have, the more deeper root that you will get. So if imagine you are a strong tree, and when the thunder comes, what happened to your tree? Nothing is going to happen. Maybe you will lose your branch, you will lose your leaf, you will lose your fruit, but your trunk will still be there. So that's how important it is to have so many life, because the more life that you have encountered Tao, that you attend the Tao sermon, Tao session, you propagate Tao, it will just deepen your root. And I'm speaking for Robert, I'm speaking for Giacomo and everybody here. Okay, so how should we cultivate? So Oh, by the way, one more thing. So here when I was talking about we have this lotus. There are people who have clairvoyance. They do have this opportunity be taken by Jigong Buddha. This guy, he even wrote a book. So this guy, he actually witnessed every one of us have a lotus. We all have a lotus. Some people's lotus has blossomed because they are so much involved in Tao. And some people are just open up a little bit because this person probably just is new to Tao. But then there are some flower is like almost dying because they are away from temple, but they still have this affinity with Tao, but they're still a lotus, even though they are dying. But as soon as they want to come back to the temple with their sincere heart, if they want to cultivate, their lotus will grow again. It will blossom again. This guy, he saw Qigong's Buddha's lotus was huge, really, really big, maybe like 100 floors tall, and it's in golden color. And because of course Qigong Buddha's flower, lotus flower is different than us. Our is like small and tiny. So the more that we cultivate, the more that we come to the temple, the more we have affinity with Tao, the more we help out in the temple, the more our lotus will blossom. The lotus grow out of mud, unfold into a beautiful flower, lives in water all the time, but never get wet by it. So this conveys the idea that a spiritual development while living in the world should remain unaffected by the worldly attraction and thrive to work towards to spiritual enlightenment. So even though we are living in this environment, but we should not be attracted. We should not attach to those material desire.
Hi, in the previous slide, you had the picture of lotus flowers, many lotus flowers in the bottom layer, the bottom levels, and only one or two lotus flowers in the upper level. Why are there so many lotus flowers in the lower level?
It's a good question. So as we can see in Tienshin Temple, there are times that many people come. Like I think in September or October, Chen come. You see so many people, right? But now today, how many people come? So some people they just come here. I call it dipping the sauce, like a French fry. You dip the sauce, and you only dip the sauce. They only come occasionally. Like Jonathan before only come occasionally. So there are many. So these are lower level signify there are many people who just come to temple, but they are not really sincere. They are not sincere. They just want to come to temple, maybe just for fun, for tour, for food, to meet friends, to have business transaction. They have certain agenda. Yeah, so I can give you an example, just like if we go to the Himalayas mountain. So who can climb to the top? The upper the mountain, the colder the air, the lesser oxygen. So how many people can survive? Not many. But there's more people living in the bottom of the mountain, right? So this is the same concept. Peter, does that answer your question? So it shows that climb to the top of the mountain is very difficult. It's very difficult. Some people, they just give up in the middle. But if you don't give up, eventually you will be able to reach to the top. To go to the top of the flower, there is a lot of distraction, there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of misalignment challenge. But if we keep our faith consistently, eventually we will get to the top. So how should we work on it? So this 9 tier of Lotus platform is a state of goodness, a state of consciousness, or a state of purity. So what do we need to do to fulfill this? Observe our daily shortfall. So I wouldn't say observe daily, I would say observe every moment, because daily is easier to say, but maybe just every second if you can. Observe every second you are shortfall, and just continue work on our weakness, repent daily our wrongdoing, and remind us this daily. So I want to share with you a story, because when we're talking about having this faith, it's very important. The story is about this parrot. So there's this parrot enjoy his view on the top of mountain, and then he saw, wow, there's a fire on the other side of the mountain, and then the fire just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and this parrot want to save the fire from further burning. So he went to he saw that there was a lake nearby, so he went to the lake. He wet his body, and then he fly up to to that particular mountain that has fire, and then he go so that the water can drop. So just imagine how can that be done. So then he go there one time and then come back to the lake, wet his body, and then go up, and then he wave his wing so hard and come back and forth so many times. While he was doing that, there were several Buddha in heaven. They were resting, and then they feel something is shaken, and because the Buddha have a clairvoyance, and they look, okay, there's a mountain is on fire, but then they saw this parrot using the wing to deepen, using the wing to carry the water to try to put out the fire. And all the Buddha were so amazed how this can be done. Can it be done? But this parrot believed that it can be done. So then the Buddha was so touched. So the Buddha called the deity of thunder, go help the parrot. So then the deity of thunder come. Of course, the fire is put off. So I want you to imagine, we all say that this flower, the top flower is very difficult to get, but may we be in the parrot, because if we have faith, our sincerity will be touched by Buddha. They will help us. The challenge will come. They will come to check if you are sincere or not. They want to check if you can face the challenge. They want to check if you have enough deep root to grow further. Because to go to the top of the flower, to the top of the lotus, it needs a very strong root. Earlier when we talked about Qigong Buddha's flower, it's very big, right? So big flower needs a strong root. It cannot have a weak root. So those struggle, those challenge are there to help you to make your root more strong, right? If you don't have those challenge, don't have those difficulties, I'm sure I want to bring up the word of abuse. Have you been through abuse? This kind of experience? I have. Some of you might have. So those abusing experience from your childhood or from your spouse, from somebody, it's an experience for you to grow. And I'm sure after you grow from it and you look back 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you see yourself, wow, I'm much a stronger person. So those struggle, those challenge, it's a gift for you. It's a gift, it's an opportunity. Okay, so to answer Jerome's question, that's why lotus flower, it has this important meaning. While living in the world, we should not be affected by the worldly attraction. So just give you a very simple example. If you go to a casino, if you go to Las Vegas and you pass by Las Vegas, the casino machine, say you live in MGM, the 9th floor. So in order to go to the 9th floor, you pass by the lobby and there's a lot of slot machine. Would you want to play? You don't want to play? I don't want to play. Jerome want to play? Peter want to play? No, right? But my husband will want to play. So that's how we are different. I don't want to play. I don't even want to touch it. I just want to go straight to my hotel if I live in MGM 9th floor.
Okay.
Yeah, we will all get tested. Yes. So each cultivator symbolizes a lotus seed with achievement of spiritual wisdom. So the reason in Buddhism, a lot of teaching, it's always related to lotus, because lotus is just like us. We live in the muddy world, but eventually we will thrive. We will come up to the water. We will blossom. Yeah, and also this lower level here in the lower 3, it also symbolizes there's many denominations. So it doesn't really matter whether you get distracted on the way of cultivation, and I'm sure some of you do. Some of you are away from temple for 1 year, 2 year, maybe 1 month, 2 months. I've been in the Tao temple for 25 years, but there were 2 years that I was distracted. So we all been there, done that. So eventually we all come back, right? So because we have this spiritual core that's connected to us, tell us that we are connected. So we come from there, and eventually we all want to go home, right? So there's a myth. Let's talk about this. There's a myth. A lot of people say, I will work on it when I die. When I can, this is not Chinese saying, I can hire a choir of people to chant the sutra for me. So people who have money, they can spend thousands of dollars to hire a group of monks to chant the sutra for them, so that I can accumulate merit and goodness and enter the pure land. So the problem is that if that works, they will not need to come to spread Tao and spread the gospel. And what's the need for challenge? What's the need for struggle? There's no need. And heaven will be a place for rich people, right? Poor people will all go to hell, right? So this doesn't make sense. And also, if people who are rich enough, they can hire a group of monks to chant the sutra. What they can receive is also minimum too. Jigong Buddha say, if you hire a group of people to chant the sutra, the people who's deceived will only receive 30% of the merit. The person who chant the sutra will receive 70%. So you never know. You never know. The money in a bank that you're supposed to ask your child to hire a group of monks, maybe they just spend the money themselves. So it's better to just work on ourselves, to make sure our root of our lotus is strong, it's wide, it's sturdy, it's deep, it's profound. That's something that we can do it for us. We don't want to rely on the kids. I have 2 kids. I'm not counting on them. Not to mention some of you don't have kids. So just forget about other people. Just focus on ourselves. So the truth is that in the Tao environment, we work together and we polish each other. In serving others, we can observe our every rising thought. It's easier to see other than ourselves. So some of you might know Zhong Tanzu, who is in Paros Verde. I should have mentioned the name, but anyway, one time I saw her. So there are people who say, in the temple environment, there's too much politics, so much problem, this and that. I would better off staying home myself. So the problem of staying home by yourself is that you will be at peace because nobody will come to disturb you. But you can only check how good you cultivate when you are with people, isn't it? Because people will reflect your cultivation. People are like your mirror. If you cultivate good enough, and when somebody says something, you will not be disturbed. But my husband will be disturbed. So I'm sorry, I have to use my husband a lot because he's not here. He's not here. So because when you are at home, nobody is reflecting yourself. Have you heard of the saying that the people our environment is a reflection of ourselves. Our environment is a reflection of the level of cultivation. So that's why when we see something, we all react differently. Peter, do you want to say something? So that's why it's important when you come to the temple and you say, I don't want to come to the temple. That's fine. These people, they will see a lot of challenge when they go to work. I see that there's people who are single, because they don't have spouse to challenge them, then they will have family to challenge them. And the challenge comes from their parents, come from their sibling, come from their workplace. So we all need a spiritual coach. We all know that if we are a carpenter, we know the sandpaper, right? We go to Home Depot to buy the sandpaper to sand down the rough area. So we need other people to be our sandpaper to sand down our sharp edges. Otherwise, we will be like porcupine, right? So if you want to cultivate, do you want to stay home or you want to come to the temple? I will say it's better to come to the temple because when you are at home, it's just less friction. Especially like Robert have a very nice wife, so sweet. Robert does not get any sandpaper from his wife. So much about the lotus flower. Now we will move on to slide number 13. 天花老母垂玉线. Lao-Mu descends in a divine thread. So Tian is the supreme heaven. So here we are not talking about Tushita heaven. We are talking about the supreme heaven. And what is supreme heaven? Supreme heaven is Wuji. It has nothing. It's because it's the stage before Taiji, right? So before the yin and yang. So yin and yang come from the supreme heaven, the void. So in the supreme heaven, there's brightness, there's a lot of light, there's a lot of illumination, a lot of love. It's the universe. And Hua is flower. Here we talk about lotus. So what does lotus mean? Lotus means wisdom. Lotus means Tao. Lotus means so many things. Benevolence, Tao, love. Because who can become a lotus? It's somebody who climbed up the mountain, somebody who have passed all the tests, all the struggle, who have passed so many tests, challenge to become a lotus. So there's a lot of wisdom. And Lao-Mu is the heavenly mother. So although this has a female connotation in it, but we can call heavenly mother or heavenly God or universe. So this universe, this heavenly mother, is invisible, is inaudible, and is intangible. So in this verse, it talks about the heavenly mother, God, in the supreme heaven, descend the divine thread. Due to the urgency of timing, the heavenly mother, Lao-Mu, wants to rescue people by showing them the path to return home, to save the sentient being, descending the golden thread. So this golden thread, we cannot see, but it's there. It's just like this baby here. The baby was just like it's a combination. It was a combination of the sperm and egg, but through that umbilical cord, the baby, the sperm and the eggs grow into a fetus. And the umbilical cord feeds the baby all the nutrient, and so is us. The Heavenly Mother wants to feed us all the wisdom and all the spiritual knowledge through this golden thread. So in the New Age, they talk about the silver cord. So there's actually the silver cord. The silver cord is equivalent to this golden thread. But in the Tao environment, we like to call the golden thread as the golden thread is developed after we receive Tao. So in the New Age, the silver cord exists, but you will only see it when in certain circumstance. For example, during the meditation, for example, when you have out-of-body experience, like a near-death experience, some people who experience near-death experience, they can see the silver cord. It looks like an energy. It's not a physical cord. It shines. It looks like silver, and it connects to everybody. It's an energy form, and the cord will move. It's definitely there. But right now, because we are trapped in this physical body, we cannot see. Yeah, so the silver cord is definitely there. We can only see it with our astral body. Right now, we cannot even see our astral body. People who have clairvoyance can see their astral body, but because we are trapped in this body. So imagine you go to an amphitheater. They ask you to wear or maybe you play a game. In the video game, some video game require you to wear a virtual reality lens. So what you are wearing this virtual reality lens, you can only see what you see in the lens. But once you take it out, you see different things. So right now we are in this physical body. We cannot see the silver cord, but it is connected. So talking about this golden thread on a silver cord, maybe you say, wow, it seems so untangible. Can you show me something that I can really feel it? Well, I can tell you that we have this, the cord is connected to us, and you can feel it by its building, okay? It's a building program. You can feel it by your emotion and your conscience. So when you feel happy, that means you are following your core. And how many people you want to be loved? We all want to be loved, right? So this is the evidence that the core is there. We all want to be loved. And when you are aligned with love, you feel happy. When there's a disalignment, we have depression, we are angry, we have resentment, this and that, then that means we are misaligned. So you will use your emotion to verify if you are aligned with this golden thread or your silver core. So this is the best evidence that I can show you. So like we come to the temple, we feel happy, we feel joyful right now, and then we have good time in lunch, and then after we leave, we sleep good and we feel good about what happened earlier during the Sunday session here. So this is the best example that we are connected. So when we are connected, we will feel good. And also some criminal, when they are being caught by the police, then the police will ask them to do a lie detector test. So if they tell a lie, their heartbeat will be faster, right? So that's because they are not telling the truth. Or if they don't tell the truth, that means they are not aligned with the Tao. So there's this physical body reaction that we are all aware of. Our heartbeat will be faster. Sometimes if we do something that's not aligned with Tao, our heartbeat will be faster. If we are nervous, our heartbeat will be faster. We will sweat. We don't feel good. We don't sleep good. We cannot eat. And it's time to come to temple. So we will continue our session for next time in the next session. And I want to special thank to the PowerPoint editor, Robert M. Jenko, and who is the author for Tao Te Ching and Intuitive Interpretation. Thank you, Robert. If mistakes were made,
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. If mistakes were made or said during today's sharing, I ask the forgiveness from the Heavenly Mother, Buddha Maitreya, Jigong Buddha, Patriarch, Suzhun Simu, Grandmaster, and Senior Master Li and Junior Master Li. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you.